30 years ago, this subdivision in North Mississauga was actually being built up as a brand new community, complete with a 9-hole golf course right in the middle. But what many don't realize is that there was actually people living here 700 to 800 years ago as part of an Indigenous village that may soon be commemorated as part of a new city park.
It had everything you would expect in any modern community. It had wastewater systems. It was set out on a plan. We're talking about how people lived here before the city of Mississauga came into being.
Before these homes were built in the 1990s around the Grand Highland Golf Course, an excavation took place that revealed something stunning. More than 41,000 artifacts were found over 2 acres of what has become known as the Antrex Indigenous village. Pieces of ceramic pots, pipe fragments, projectiles, tools, and bones in an area where a number of structures once stood for as many as 400 to 500 people.
They found what we call settlement patterns, which are literally stains in the ground, which showed where the longhouses were, where these people lived, where they lit their fires, where they walked, where they danced, where they laughed, where they loved.
Fast forward generations, and common practice just a few decades ago was to set aside the artifacts for further study before continuing to build new. Indigenous leaders today say more needs to happen to further reconciliation in this country and in a city that carries the name of their people.
What is the history of this based upon what the archaeology tells us and based upon what we know of the history of this land? The Indigenous people who came in and out of the areas, who settled here. We have to look at all of that and figure out, where do we go from here? What is the art of the possible?
The golf course has since been bought by the City of Mississauga so that a 27-acre park can be put in its place. Last week, an effort was made to find a way to commemorate the village on the land next to where it once stood.
We have an opportunity to reverse the erasure of an entire village of people and a nation and their descendants. And those tribes that are mentioned in our preliminary meetings are exactly the ones that flowed from the Antrex people.
Those living in the homes that stand there now agree.
That's an amazing idea. It's the least we can do to validate them, to honor them, to acknowledge them, what happened. It's the least we can do as a society.
And all agree what ends up being created will be much more than just the street with the same name nearby or an official plaque.
I really want to utilize this site for education, awareness, and potential unity.
Mississauga City Council only making the decision to somehow commemorate the Antrex village this month. Chief Laforme says he hasn't yet had a discussion with anyone from the city, but he hopes to do so soon. Mark McAllister, City News, Mississauga.